Dusk settles like a faded ribbon across the land, stretching over long fences of cracked timber and silent hills of yellow grass. The wind drifts slow, as though it remembers an older time, brushing past the abandoned water troughs and empty grazing yards. A lone rider moves through the light, his horse walking without urgency. His posture says he is a man who has carried miles of memory on his back, not a traveler born of thrill, but of unfinished stories. And beyond the ridgeline, quiet as a hidden heartbeat, there is a settlement of her people, woven from wood, earth, and muted hope, where a young woman gathers firewood alone. Her hands move without pause, though her expression holds the softness of something once broken and stitched gently back in place. 2 winters ago, her husband vanished into the storm, taken not by hands but by fate that writes without asking. His grave never had the proper prayers. Land disputes made mourning incomplete. She became a widow with half a farewell inside her chest, raising her younger sister and caring for an aunt whose eyes see only fragments of the world. She rarely speaks, not because she fears voice, but because silence became easier than being misunderstood by those who whisper. When the settlement stares at her, they see someone who belongs nowhere now, someone drifting but still standing. She imagines growing old alone, not bitter, just unnoticed. Far from noise, a cowboy has been wandering. He once owned acres of grassland, once had a woman who promised forever, then left in a quiet dawn. He began selling things not out of anger, but to stop remembering. Now he carries himself like a man who stopped waiting for belonging. His face has lines not of age, but of truth. His beauty is understated, the way a riverbed becomes beautiful after the flood recedes. Someone at the trading post had spoken of a native widow, one who did not smile, but did not harden either. And something about the idea of her lingered, like a name he had heard in childhood dreams. When he finally sees her gathering wood, he approaches not like a man searching to claim, but like someone asking if life might still have room left for him. He tells her softly that he needs a wife, that she needs a husband, not for labor, not for show, for quiet evenings when loneliness grows teeth, for simple mornings with warmth. She declines. Her voice falls like gentle ash rather than flame. She says she is nobody's solution, nobody's emptiness filler. Around her, the world murmurs its judgment. Martha May, the herbal woman, says the widow deserves a softness that speaks her name with care. Jameson the blacksmith spits into the dirt and warns her that cowboy men ride away after promises. Still, the cowboy does not insist. He leaves without looking disappointed, merely accepting that her answer belongs to her. That night, she sits beneath the moon, a woven blanket pulled over her shoulders. The open space beside her feels like a memory too vivid to ignore. Her sister, young and hopeful, tells her that life still has doors not yet opened. Her aunt, half-sighted, hums old songs meant for women who stay brave through loss. The widow watches the cowboy from distance, not speaking, just observing. He kneels beside an old well and begins repairing its broken wood, tightening bolts, lifting stones. She wonders why a man would fix something that isn't his. Perhaps because broken things call to broken hearts. Later she learns he had once waited for someone who never returned, that his love story ended before it bloomed. And something shifts inside her, not attraction, but recognition. That night the repaired well begins to flow again. Water reflects moonlight like silver threads, and she catches her own face shimmering at the surface. In that quiet ripple, the thought escapes her before she can stop it. What if? She goes to him at dawn, while frost still coats the grass and the sky is washed pale with morning light. She carries nothing grand, only her shawl and a quiet decision. He stands by the well he repaired, hands wet from drawing water. She does not smile. She only tells him that if they walk together, the path must stay slow, that no promises should be spoken loudly, because loud promises break faster. If he wishes for company, it must remain gentle, unhurried. And he nods, as though her terms were already living inside him before she voiced them. They begin traveling, not toward adventure, but toward belonging. Dust rises around their footsteps. Meals are shared near cedar logs and quiet rivers. She tells him stories of her late husband, his laugh, his stubbornness, his dreams that never found ground. The cowboy listens like someone fastening pieces of her heart into stillness, not to repair, but to hold respectfully. He speaks rarely, but when he does, his words fall with intention. He once owned land that waited for a family. A fence half-built, a cabin half-shaped. He left it when life emptied its meaning. She hears this not as failure, but as evidence of a man who once tried to build something real. On their way, wandering travelers cross their lives. Two fiddle musicians who serenade the fading moon with songs about promises held too tight. A widowed mother with 4 children reminding them that love is not weightless. A priest who blesses them simply as 2 souls not done searching. These encounters echo like soft lanterns guiding them forward. She begins to laugh again, not loudly, but with the warmth of returning breath. He begins speaking more, not stories, just small truths. They arrive at his land when autumn begins laying gold over dry fields. The cabin waits like something abandoned yet hopeful. Walls half-shaped, roof unfinished. She touches the wood and feels history wanting redemption. Together, they begin building, not with urgency, but with patience. Then the storm rises. Winds roar like wounded horses. Rain lashes against the half-made walls. Lightning bursts through the sky. Panic fills her chest. She remembers the storm when death came. She trembles, unable to breathe through the memory. He does not tell her to forget. Instead, he stands beside her, steady as oak. His voice, low and almost broken, tells her to bring her memories, not bury them. He says she need not erase her past to make room for her future. He does not hold her tightly. He simply stays, present, unmoving. She breathes again, slowly, and she realizes storms do not steal everything. Not when someone remains beside you through their darkest echo. The next days soften. The sun stretches long again. The fence is rebuilt. The roof finished. She plants seeds near the doorway, her fingers pressing into soil made softer by last night's rain. He builds a swing from cedar wood, tying rope with the certainty of someone shaping permanence. The cabin becomes a home, not grand, not loud, but filled with a stillness that does not frighten. Evenings find him outside beneath lantern light. Her laughter no longer cracks through sorrow. It settles like warmth. His silence is no longer filled with emptiness. It grows like shade in summer. They speak rarely, because presence has spoken enough. The coyotes howl somewhere in far hills, but loneliness does not answer. Life, it seems, stitched itself quietly into their days. Sometimes the heart finds shelter not in passion, not in pursuit, but in the simple miracle of someone who stays. If this story drifted into you gently, leave your thoughts below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me where you are watching from, what road your heart is walking, and what storm you hope someone will hold you through.